Good morning, members, staff, and members of the public. The council meeting of March 20th, 2026 will now come to order. And for your information, members, at the request of Councilmember Rollins Fernandez, I am canceling the ceremonial resolution from today's agenda. It will be taken up at another time. Roll call.
Chair, proceeding with roll call. For those members joining us online, if you could please let us know who, if anyone except minors, are present with you. Councilmember Shane Snensi.
Aloha kakaya kakako.
Councilmember Nohelani Uuhajens.
Excused.
Councilmember Tom Cook.
Present in my key office in my office alone. There's currently no testifiers over here.
Thank you.
Councilmember Keani Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha kakahiaka kako, aloha kakahiaka chair. I am currently at the Kahului Airport in a public space, although there isn't anyone around at this moment. I'm sorry, I did intend to join you in the chambers, but I don't want to get stuck on Maui till Sunday, so I'm trying to get home. My flight is scheduled at 9:50, but right now the airport tower on Molokai is asking for flight to not head that way, so we're just waiting for it to be cleared up. The flight to Lanai was already canceled, but they haven't canceled my flight yet, and my husband has reported that it's looking better on that side. So hopefully that the bans that managing director spoke about will pass Molokai soon and will let me get home safely. There are currently no testifiers at the Molokai district office. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you, and thank you for that report. Ms. Clark.
Councilmember Gabe Johnson.
Good morning, Chair, council members, community members. There's no testifiers here at the Lanai District Office. I'm alone on my side of the office. And as you can see, it looks like it's 5 p.m. outside, dark, cloudy. And everyone, please take care. Please, when in doubt, don't go out. You know, I give Councilman Rollins Fernandez a lot of credit to be flying in this weather. I'm a chicken when it comes to this kind of weather. So please take care, everybody. And I'm here and ready to work. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Councilmember Tamara Paulton.
Kakayaka kako, streaming live and direct from my kitchen table. I also intended to come in, but I don't want to get stuck in Wailuku. I have with me in the house 1 adult male, George Vieira, and 3 minors, 2 humans, and 1 canine.
Okay.
Vice Chair Yukile Sugimura.
Good morning, everybody. Be safe and take care. Thank you very much for passing the emergency proclamation this morning, and looking forward to a productive meeting.
Councilmember Kawanoi Batangan.
Aloha kako.
Council Chair Alice Lee.
Aloha, everyone.
Chair, you have 8 members present, 1 excused. A quorum is present to conduct the business of the council. For the record, I am the county clerk, Moana Ludi, and seated next to me is the deputy clerk, Rochelle Thompson. Present from our office, our legislative division staff, Joyce Morishige, Lauren Saldana, Chris Minford. Assisting the council with maintaining order and decorum is Council Ambassador Ryan Martins. Joining the meeting from the Office of Council Services is Director David Rotz and Legislative Attorney Peter Hanano. From the Department of the Corporation Counsel is First Deputy Mimi Desjardins.
Opening remarks will be provided by Councilmember Gabe Johnson.
Mahalo, Chair. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to give opening remarks. In preparation for today, I looked over this council's meeting agenda, and I was so happy to see the ceremonial resolution introduced by Councilmember Rollins Fernandez celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana. I just learned it's going to be canceled, but it's still very important. And thank you to all of those who stood up to protect the island of Kaho'olawe. The island has been on my mind a lot lately. The storms of today are the result of the actions of yesterday. And we see that more than ever with the extreme weather events that we seem to be going through year after year. Everything is connected. When I visited South Kihei Road and Kulani Hakoi Street on Sunday to see firsthand the damage caused by the Kona Low system, I lamented that the devastation can be avoided. We are dealing with one hit after another, and need to start being more forward-thinking while learning from the past. Kapuna on Lanai often talk about the days of misty weather in the winter months, and nowadays that's a rarity. In fact, Kapuna across the islands often speak of how different the weather is these days. As a farmer, I watch the weather. I understand its intimate connection with vegetation, its cycles, and how important this relationship is. My many years of walking the Lanai Hale, I saw what plants can actually do to restore and replenish while I focus on forest restoration, fighting back invasives, and replanting natives. This work yields no immediate result, but just like farming, efforts fruit years later, creating sustainability, resiliency, and an environment that sustains us all. Next week, we are an incredible opportunity to shape the future of Maui County. What do we prioritize? What do we value? I often quote Martin Luther King when I say the budget is a moral document. However, how are we going to craft it to take care of our community and give the generations after us a better life? I want to focus on long-term solutions, healing, resilient solutions. For example, reviving the Naulu Cloud Bridge, reconnecting the islands of Maui News weather system, and bring back and sustain life. Investing and partnering with community organizations, nonprofits, landowners, and county departments. This is something we can all and should be doing, working together. As the saying goes, don't miss the forest for the trees. And as we focus on rebuilding and now a cleanup, we must remember to plant the seeds of the future. There's so much we can do now to support and protect a better tomorrow. And like the Afro man says, when life gives you lemons, make lemon pound cake. Thank you, Chair. I yield the floor.
Thank you, very nice. Now, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Before we proceed with today's agenda, may I please request that everyone keep their microphones muted unless it's your turn to speak. As a reminder, testimony must pertain to items on the meeting agenda. When testifying, please direct your remarks to the council and not to any individual member or member of the public. Each testifier will be allowed to speak for up to 3 minutes on each item. For individuals wishing to testify on Teams, please click the Raise Your Hand button to be added to the testifier log. If you are calling in, please follow the phone prompts to be added to the log. If you wish to testify anonymously, please sign in as anonymous and you will be given a testifier number. Decorum shall be maintained at all times. Any person who behaves in a manner that disrupts, disturbs, or impedes the orderly conduct of any council meeting can, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of present council members, be ejected or banned from council meetings, or, if participating remotely, muted or dropped from the meeting. Examples of disruptive behavior include, but are not limited to, heckling, shouting, use of profanity, threatening, or slanderous remarks made to any member of the council, staff, or general public. All meeting attendees, whether online or in person, are expected to wear clothing which should not display profanity, obscenity, or any message that could be considered discriminatory, harassing, or inappropriate for these proceedings. Now, Ms. Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Proceeding with oral testimony on any item on the meeting's agenda, except for the canceled item. The first testifier is Eva Blumenstein, testifying on Committee Report 2618. It shall be followed by a testifier calling in from the last 4 digits, 1340.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning.
Council members. Eva Blumenstein, testifying on CR 2618, adopting resolution 2638 in support of appointing Jackie Takakura as planning director. I have known and worked with Jackie for over 25 years. I've always admired her integrity and high work ethic. She doesn't dilly-dally. She's proactive. She identifies resolve the problem, prevent the problem from reoccurring. She won't leave dull issues for others to resolve. She tackles them with her team. I think that's real good quality for management leadership and good for department morale. And I compete with her for recruiting planners, so I'm being generous here. I know Jackie well enough also with certainty to know she doesn't have a personal agenda. She just really tries hard to be a public servant and implement the plans and policies that you have approved. She understands the challenges in securing water supply to serve new housing development, and we do our best to align the water and planning department's plans to engage with the community and implement those plans. So I really just, she's beyond qualified. I only ask you to support her to succeed in this role. Mahalo.
Thank you. What a nice testimony. Vice Chair Sugimura.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
With the highest respect for you and your work and what you do for the community, your words speak loudly to me. So thank you.
Any other questions? If not, thank you, Ava.
Mahalo.
Chair, the next testifier is calling in from the last a phone with the last four digits, 1340. And can you please let us know which item or items you're testifying on? And the caller will be followed by Budget Director Leslie Milner. To unmute, you press *6, and you can go ahead and testify.
Again.
The testifier calling in from last four digits, 1340. Chair, seeing no response, we'll move on to Budget Director Leslie Milner testifying on bills 50, 51, and 52, and she'll be followed by Housing Director Remy Mitchell.
Morning.
Morning, Chair. Morning, council members. Really briefly, Bill 50 is a bill to remove conditional language from under the Department of Housing and Human Concerns for an organization that is not able to use the funds for the intended legislative purpose and reappropriating them to 4 other organizations. This was a request from Councilmember Sinensi, so I will let him address that at the appropriate time. Bill 51 is a bill to move funding from the Office of Economic Development from the Technology and Business Promotion Competitive Pot. We have not had a significant number of applications in that pot. To the Human Concerns Program for grants and disbursements for the youth centers and programs for the Boys and Girls Club of Maui located on Molokai. This was a request from Councilmember Rollins Fernandez, so I will defer to her to speak on that later. And finally, bill for an ordinance amending the Office of Economic Development residency area funds for both Kahului and Wailuku to reappropriate funds for the Maui AIDS Foundation. That was a request from yourself and Councilmember Batangan, so I will defer to you on that one. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions, members? If not, thank you very much. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Housing Director Remy Mitchell testifying on Bill 48 to be followed by Sam Small.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. Just to follow up to our discussion, I guess early this week at the HLU committee meeting where I was asked about Bill 48 and whether the Department of Housing supported the bill. And so I'm here today to say, yes, we do support the bill in exempting affordable housing developments and workforce housing developments from below moderate income, for moderate income and below, from all fees and associated fees, and for residential workforce housing units that are above moderate income for 50% of those fees. As I looked at the materials for today, I didn't see any ASFs that were posted. I understand there might be one posted for this item, but I haven't had a chance to take a look at that yet. So if there are questions, I can be available by cell phone when the item comes up, and I can leave my number with staff or Director Rotz. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any questions for Director Mitchell? Member Paulton.
Thank you. Yes, we're actively working on the ASF, and I'll send it to you as soon as I sign it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, thank you very much.
Chair, the next testifier is Sam Small. Please let us know which item you'll be testifying. If it's multiple items, let us know when you're finished with the first one so we can reset the clock.
Thank you. With regard to the confirmation of the planning director, does the council know that Public Works Director Jordan Molina and county attorneys have submitted affidavits to the Second Circuit Court stating that Public Works can wipe out environmental and public safety conditions imposed by planning under SMA law? As Councilmember Cook recently explained, Public Works is ministerial, approving projects applying minimal technical standards. It's up to planning to impose additional discretionary SMA conditions to protect the environment and public safety. Public Works is supposed to implement planning's conditions, not reinterpret them, and certainly not erase them. But despite the county charter requiring coordination between departments, I can show you decades of developments where subdivision plans were approved by Public Works without ever routing back to planning. Last week, I mentioned a required fire hydrant in West Maui that Public Works allowed to vanish. Did missing critical infrastructure contribute to the line of deaths? Because of fast state settlement, we'll never know unless this council investigates, which you can do. After last week's storm, this council can and should investigate how many stormwater protections went missing in Kihei. The planning director is stepping into a critical moment. There's an active 10-day formal demand for determinations of whether Greg Brown's 12-bedroom duplex built to hotel height standards ever actually qualified for the SMA permit exemption as a single-family home, which past planning director Michelle McLean has already testified she wished never happened. That wrongful exemption violated the public's right to participate, just like at Kahama Villages. I promise you we're not going to stop till our rights are restored, hopefully before Brown sells. Here's where the new director's ethics will be seriously tested. The Second Circuit Court has already ruled that court counsel is conflicted in related litigation involving Chris Salem blowing the whistle on Brown. How can conflicted court counsel provide independent legal guidance, especially while Brown's lawyers are a former court counsel director and deputy director? So this is all on the new director, with deep professional and perhaps even personal consequences. Here are 3 director questions I'm begging somebody ask the new director. Do you agree with Jordan Molina and county attorneys that Public Works has the authority to eliminate SMA conditions? Will you honor the charter and finally ensure that all subdivision approvals are routed back to planning to verify compliance? And finally, will the director encourage Committee Chair Sugimura to refuse to accept the 2027 budget coming soon from the mayor if it violates the charter requirement to account for the tens of millions of dollars due to the county from the thousands of historically uncollected 3-lot or less deferral agreements to offset CIP issues? Thank you for the extra time.
Okay. Any questions for the testifier? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next one?
Chair, the next testifier is Christopher Salem. Please let us know which item or items you'll be testifying on, and he will be followed by Darla Palmer Ellingson, who is currently our last testifier.
Good morning, council members. Just want to confirm my microphone is unmuted.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be testifying on 3 items today. I'll try to keep it limited on 2 of them. And so here we go. You know, it dawned on me the other day that I've been involved with the legislative process in Maui County for almost 30 years. And how many different council members have we been involved with, many of which were very courageous in their willingness to confront these critical issues. I hope at some point we see that same exact type of, well, I don't even know what the word is for it. So let me move on and down to specifics. I'd like to briefly address Bill 49 regarding parking prohibitions on certain streets and highways. I'm not entirely clear on how far this bill intends to go, but I would strongly urge the council to look specifically at the Hui roads in West Maui once again. Hui Road F, including the Hui Road stretch in front of Greg Brown's property that acts as shoreline access to Napili Bay, are a few examples. These are extremely narrow substandard roadways that Public Works has allowed to be developed for decades without infrastructure to provide proper ingress and egress to the main collector roads. Councilmember Cook, you're aware that is a condition of Title 18. You can't allow somebody to create that kind of density and not allow there to be ingress and egress requirements imposed. I think part of the problem might have been is those flexible design standards that the council passed decades ago. Maybe Councilmember Lee, maybe you're aware of that. So here is the point. Every single day, local residents and visitors are forced to park on both sides of these narrow roads. The result is predictable and dangerous. Lifeguards, police officers, and fire personnel will all tell you the same thing during emergencies, which happen frequently in Napili. Fire engines cannot get through. At the same time, vehicles are trying to exit, creating a complete bottleneck. Emergency responders are forced to back up, sometimes all the way onto Lower Honopiliani Road. This is unacceptable. What makes this worse is the jurisdictional mess we have in Maui County. You have county roads feeding into Hui roads, which are under the Second Circuit Court, leading to state shoreline access points, with little or no designated parking, restrooms, or a single control over any of this. Everyone points fingers at the other regarding responsibility, while the liability continues. We don't need to revisit what happened with ingress, egress, and bottlenecks in Lahaina. We all know what happened. Wasn't this enough of a wake-up call? So I asked the council, and I believe Mr. Cook would be the appropriate person to look at this on a macro level. If the county is going to continue holding off, specifically the mayor, on accepting transfer of these Hui roads, then we must address the real-world safety conditions that leave them in their current narrow and substandard condition. There needs to be parking restrictions. On a final point, in the SMA exemption issued to Greg Brown Development, the applicant proposed dedicating 4 shoreline access parkings along the Hui Road. He had no authority to do that. Planning, he had no authority to condition or even allow that to be a portion of an SMA exemption. I hope all these nice compliments being made upon the courage of our new director actually come into play. And bottom line, those spaces were never created. They require right-of-way permits, and you can't get a right-of-way permits through an exemption. I mean, all of this is just ridiculous, what has gone on here. So in effect, that condition of parking was just smoke and
Your time has
mirrors used to
expired.
suggest there's.
Please conclude.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on. Next item. The next testimony is on number 2620, relating to real property taxes. I just have a request of Councilmember Sugimura. While we're making provision for exemptions to be applied on the next back payments for local residents, I ask you and your staff to monitor the $167,000 Greg Brown tax assessment that is owed for 2024. I believe that is your responsibility. Moving on to Resolution 2638, the appointment of the planning director. So, if confirmed today, the new director steps into the shoes of former planning director Blystone, and before that, Director Aoki, and before that, Director McLean, 4 planning directors in 4 years. And we question why there's so many vacancies. What are the real reasons this high-paying position with incredible benefits remains a revolving door? Getting to the point, during the director's appointment hearing, did everyone see the summary of SMA permits issued in the first half of the fiscal year? It's something like 145 minor permits, but not a single major. We did a study of SMA permits for the last 25 years. It's shocking how few involve public participation. The exact opposite criteria the CZMA and state law require. Planning is required to ensure that public participation. So what's the solution? Which is always my goal with this council, to not just come here and rant on you about issues. Every issue I rant on you is either has a legislative solution that's already been presented, or certainly a verbal one. In regards to the issue on SMA minors, you realize that all this is solved with a $50 sign? If a $50 sign was put in the front of a piece of land with a proposed SMA permit, the citizens would know. How are citizens supposed to know? Are they supposed to try to track that convoluted and confusing systems of the county to on a weekly or monthly basis, see if anybody's proposing anything in their neighborhood? That is not promoting public participation. That's covering up an obligation of the planning department with intent. The SMA system is broken. And Councilmember Sinanci, you promised you would bring SMA to the floor. I'm asking you to please honor that promise, because it's my opinion that the SMA rules should be handled by you, the council members. We put our trust in you during elections, not some appointed people who adopt force and effect of law, conditions, and rules in the Planning Commission. That's not the way it is in other areas of the state of Hawaii. That was the goal of that SMA committee item, to bring this force and effect into this arena so we could show you in crayons where the loopholes lie. Is that such a great request? I don't think so. But the bottom line today is there's been a 10-day notice put on this director with the newly discovered government records to revoke Greg Brown's permits immediately. My suggestion is this council delay this appointment hearing.
Time.
That would be diligent. I will finish. You can delay this till your next hearing to see if this director actually follows the law. As everyone's saying, she will. Well, there's lots of sayings and songs about good deeds and good intentions and how it's a road to a certain place we won't reference in those doctrines. So at the bottom line of this is, please defer this appointment today. You all have a copy of that demand. Will she make a determination, or will she avoid a termination like all the other directors?
Okay, thank you.
Refuse to make a difference, I'm done, and refuse for 15 years to do an inspection of these SMA permits where the violations existed. Please.
Members, do you have any questions?
Protect us.
Any questions? No questions, okay.
Chair,
Thank
the
you.
next testifier is Darla Palmer Ellington. Please let us know which item or items you'll be testifying on.
Hi there. I'm testifying on Bill 142 CD1, adjusting the property tax home exemption filing deadlines. I have a small farm that has a house and cottage where I both have residency exemption and a long-term rental. I've received the long-term rental exemption for many years. Currently, I have the same tenants in the rental for over 4 years. Due to a medical emergency, I missed filing the long-term rental exemption in December. I contacted the real property tax department on January 5th. I was informed of the partial exemption policy and the option to dispute my appraisal without the exemption. I filed the partial exemption with an appointment record of emergency care. I was notified the partial exemption was approved. Then I received a call from the property tax division saying if I accepted the partial exemption that the added penalty would mean I would actually pay more tax than if I did not take the partial exemption. This is because I also have a homeowner's exemption. The property tax staff said if the rental property was located on a separate parcel where I was not living, there would be no penalty. This seems to benefit investors while discriminating resident homeowners providing a long-term rental. I was forced to remove my request for partial exemption, and I ask that the council ensure that this measure is updated to change this so resident homeowners with a homeowner's exemption are not penalized when accepting a partial exemption.
Questions? Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. Good morning, Darla. Could you submit
Hi.
your testimony in writing to us?
Sure.
Thanks.
Paulton.
Thank you, Ms. Ellington. can you clarify or repeat that part about the penalty?
Yes. Let's see. So I received a call from the property tax division saying if I accepted the partial exemption, the added penalty would mean I would actually pay more tax than if I did not take the exemption. This is because I also have a homeowner's exemption. The property tax staff said if the rental property was located on a separate parcel where I was not living, there would be no penalty.
Did they say what the size of the penalty is?
They did not. And I also asked for the calculation and that was not provided. I don't tell too many people this because I don't get invited to dinner, but I was a property tax assessor in another state. So I do understand how these things work. And I think that this was an oversight in how it was crafted that I'm asking you to remedy.
And did they give a reason why they couldn't tell you that information?
I believe he said that was a different department. So I haven't had time to further research it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any more questions? If not, thank you very much.
Chair, we'll go back to the testifier calling in from the last four digits, 1340. If you wish to testify, please unmute. That's *6. Chair, seeing no response, we see J.C. Law making his way to the podium. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Rochelle. Aloha, everybody in the council, in the building, and out there in TV land. I'm speaking today on Olelo Ho'ohiki Kupa'a. The Hawaiian Dictionary says allegiance is lave hai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Mr. Sinetsi, but I'm doing the best I can. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to, thank you, Member Rollins Fernandez, for keeping us straight on the Olelo. I don't know if she's on the plane yet. Yeah, a lot of people getting stressed out there in Maui, and I'm trying to help out to guide, to keep everybody going in the right direction. Lave Hai means flag bearer. And so I would like to speak again on the flag. When I think of the flag, I think about the people that locked up Queen Liliuokalani, put her in a room, and then claimed the flag was theirs. I was in the United States Army for a little while, and the first thing they teach you is about the flag. And I know just enough to know that it's like an address. You can't take over somebody else's address unless they agree to it somehow or they die. And since the Hawaiians are still alive, you can't really take over their flag. I believe it was the flag of the Kingdom of Hawaii. And the Kingdom of Hawaii is actually, I hate to say no more, but there is no, I'm not sure who's representing that government except Akua. So,
Which item are you speaking on?
the Olelo Ho'ohiki Kupa'a.
Okay.
And so I'm just saying, I think when they put the flag up here, when the Public Works puts the American flag, I guess they do whatever they like. But I mean, I was born in America, so I got no problem. I got a different set of problems with that. But the state flag of Hawaii, I believe is actually, it's illegal for anybody to fly it unless you're claiming allegiance to the Kingdom of Hawaii. So, yeah, I hope the governor and everybody else is watching out there. And thank you for your time. I saved the rest of my time for the people of the Aina.
Thank you. Questions? No questions.
Chair, I wanted to let you know that Member Rollins Fernandez has boarded, so she's en route to Molokai. And we have another testifier signed up, Thomas T.J. Daya. Please go ahead and unmute on your end.
Aloha, everyone. Thomas Daya, Chief Operations Officer for the Boys and Girls Clubs. It's good to see everyone today, and I just want to give a special mahalo to Councilmember Keani Rollins for putting in this request to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Maui Molokai Clubhouse, and to the entire administrative budget director Milner and Mayor Bisson for the ongoing support to serve our keiki and opio. I just want to testify in support of Bill 51 to help allocate additional funding to the repairs of the former youth center on Molokai. We're working very hard to get our services and programs and opportunities for the kids over there. The facility needs were greater than anticipated, and Councilmember Rollins connected with us, reached out to us, and by supporting this funding, it'll help us reallocate the funding we received from Department of Human Concerns, who's been gracious enough to allow us to use some of their funding to update the facilities, but allow us to use that funding for what it was meant for originally. And, we're always doing whatever it takes for the kids, especially those on Molokai. And I'm looking forward to getting the services and programs there that we have on Maui. We know the difference it makes in their lives. So just a big mahalo to you all, and thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, thank you very much. And we do see Member Rollins Fernandez has boarded her plane. Ms. Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. There is no one else signed up to testify at the beginning of the meeting, so we'll go ahead and give last call for any testimony at the beginning of the meeting. Chair, counting down 3, 2, 1. There's no one else to testify.
Members, any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony? No, so ordered, Ms. Clerk. Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on to the committee reports, we have no one signed up to testify, so we'll give last call for any testimony on the committee reports. Chair, counting down 3, 2, 1. There is no one else to testify on committee reports.
Any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on committee reports? So ordered, Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. From the Budget, Finance, and Economic Development Committee is Committee Report 26-17, recommending first reading of Bill 30 CD1 2026 to amend the fiscal year 2026 budget by 1, increasing general fund carryover savings and the appropriation for transfer to the general excise tax fund by $3.5 million, and 2, increasing the conditioned amount and related Appendix C appropriation for the Central Maui Regional Wastewater Reclamation Facility in Waikapu from $10.5 million to $14 million.
Vice Chair Sugimura.
I move to adopt the recommendations in Committee Report 26-17.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Sugimura, seconded by Member Batangan, to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 2617. Discussion, Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. Bill 30 CD1 2026 adds $3.5 million to close a funding gap for the Central Maui Reclamation Wastewater Reclamation Facility in Waikapu after prior state grant and aid funds lapsed. The project supports housing, commercial development, wastewater capacity in Central Maui. The funding will keep the project on track. I ask for the members' support of my motion.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Clerk, help me with this. Do you say 7?
Yes, 7 with Member Rollins Fernandez and Hodgins excused.
Okay, I see here. Okay, 8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. 1 excused. Member Hodgins. Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. From the Government Relations, Ethics, and Transparency Committee is Committee Report 26-18, recommending adoption of Resolution 2638 to approve the mayor's appointment of Jacqueline M.C. Takakura as the Planning Director effective February 1, 2026.
Councilmember Batangan.
I move to adopt the recommendation in CR 2618.
Second.
Moved by Member Batangan, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura, to adopt the resolution in Committee Report 2618. Discussion, Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. At its meeting on March 10, 2026, your great committee met to discuss Resolution 26-38 and receive comments on the appointment from the Mayor and Managing Director before interviewing Mrs. Takakura. Among the things discussed were Ms. Takakura's decades of dedicated county experience, her steady, thoughtful, and respectful leadership style, the positive relationships she has with the department staff, and the support she has already provided to the council in her prior roles. Accordingly, your committee expressed strong support for Ms. Takakura's appointment and voted 9-0 to recommend adoption of Resolution 26-38. The council's deadline to confirm or deny the appointment is March 31st, 2026. I respectfully ask the members' support of my motion.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye. 8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. One excused, Member Hodgins. Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also from the Government Relations, Ethics, and Transparency Committee is Committee Report 26-19, recommending adoption of Resolution 2639 CD1 to approve the mayor's appointment of Margaret Y. Willis as the Director of Human Concerns effective March 1, 2026.
I move to approve the recommendation in Committee Report 26-19.
Second.
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Sinensi to approve Committee Report 2619. Discussion, Member Sinensi?
Thank you, Chair. We received lots of testimony in support of Ms. Willis as we asked her questions during her appointment. And so speak in support of her 26-19, Chair. Thank you.
Anyone else? I just want to add that among the things discussed were Ms. Willis's extensive expertise in designing and implementing programs on houselessness and housing stabilization, her compassion, strong communication, and charismatic personality, and the understanding and care she displayed for the various groups she'd be supporting as Director of Human Concerns. Any more discussion? Yes, Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. Additionally, your committee discussed Ms. Willis's eligibility under Section 78-1 Hawaii Rights Statute, since she is not a Hawaii resident and the only legal requirement for the position is 5 years of administrative experience. Despite your committee's initial concerns over Ms. Willis's eligibility and unfamiliarity with Maui County's community and culture, your committee expressed support for Ms. Willis's appointment and voted 8-1 to recommend adoption of Resolution 2639. I'd like to note that as the lone dissenting vote, I stand by my concerns about the candidate's eligibility to serve in the position, but I don't hold that against Ms. Willis. Ms. Willis, if you're watching, I just want you to know that I really am rooting for you. Your success will be our success, and I want the best for this community. So I do pledge to work with you in good faith the way that I would any other member of the administration moving forward, so that we can have the best possible service and outcomes for our island. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any more discussion, Vice Chair Sugimura?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Member Batangan. I requested written clarification from Corporation Counsel regarding HRS 78-1 and the residency requirement, and I thank them, Corp Counsel, that they responded, which recommends a broader interpretation alongside relevant sections of the county charter and code. However, even under that interpretation, it's difficult to conclude that no qualified candidates met the requirements. I am aware of 3 Maui County residents who applied and bring extensive community experience. I was contacted via email and phone. I would also like to recognize that the mayor recognized our Jessica Kraus, who met the requirements to be the acting director, and there are talented department employees and nonprofits who can care for our people. And I believe the county is best served by a director of human concerns who both meets the residents' requirement and has strongly established ties to our community. While I appreciate Ms. Willis's willingness to serve and commend her for her work, I will not be supporting the nomination at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Councilmember Sinensi?
Aye.
Councilmember Hodgins?
Excused.
Councilmember Cook?
Aye.
Councilmember Rollins Fernandez?
Excused.
No, she's right there. Aye. Okay, she has an aye.
And Councilmember Johnson?
Yes, with reservations.
Councilmember Paulton?
Aye.
Vice Chair Sugimura?
No.
Councilmember Batangan?
No.
Chair Lee?
Aye.
Chair, there are 6 ayes, 2 noes, 1 excused. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
Thank you, Chair. And seeing that Member Rollins Fernandez is on, she requested that we hold this if she was in transit. But from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is Committee Report 26-20, recommending first reading of Bill 142, CD1, 2025 to adjust the home exemption filing deadline so claimants who file by December 31st or June 30th receive the exemption on their next tax payment.
Okay, which item is this again?
This is Committee Report 26-20. Member Rollins Fernandez asked that we hold 26-20 and 26-21 until she is able to fully participate.
Okay, any objections to moving this to later in the calendar? So ordered. Ms. Clark, resolutions.
Chair, we currently have no one signed up to testify for resolutions, but I see Mr. Law making his way to the podium.
Hi again, everybody. I'd like to thank the Daniels R. Sayer Memorial Foundation. I was on Dairy Road like last week, and I saw these 2 big old fire trucks coming down the road. It looks like a water truck or something, I thought. So this is the same one. And they went over there to the Kahului Fire Department. So, yeah, I just want to support my local fire department, and hopefully we won't be having to use those very much. But I just wanted to speak in favor of that since nobody else was.
Any questions, members? If not, next testifier.
Chair, there's no one else currently signed up to testify, so this is last call for anyone who would like to testify on resolutions. This is your opportunity. The countdown is 3, 2, 1. Chair, there is no one indicating a desire to testify.
Members, any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on resolutions? No objections, so ordered. Ms. Clark.
Chair, before you is Resolution 2660, accepting the donation of 2 How and How Big Dog fire trucks from the Daniel R. Sayer Memorial Foundation, Inc. to the Department of Fire and Public Safety under Section 3.56.030 Maui County Code.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I move to adopt Resolution 26-60.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to accept, to adopt the resolution 2660. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I'd like to move to amend Resolution 2660 by amending the second be it resolved clause to correct Laura Mallory Sayers' last name to be Mallery Sayer. If someone wanted to second for me.
Okay, moved by Member Paulton, seconded by who? Member Batangan to make a correction on the person's name. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. This amendment just corrects Ms. Mallory Sayers' name as listed on the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs website. ask for the members' support of this amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Any more discussion? Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you very much. I overwhelmingly support the efforts of the SARE Foundation. And as you know, the foundation was set up because the SARE's son died. And the Big Island firefighters were trying to rescue him and was unable to rescue him as he was stuck on a cliff. And so therefore, I don't know how many years ago that was, but this prompted the family then to establish this memorial fund. And Laura and Frank were trying to log in today. I guess they weren't successful. Are they there?
Chair, Frank Sir has his hand raised. I don't know if we can go to him. I don't know if
can we?
He has any comment about the name spelling or what, but that's what was on the BCCA.
Members, any objections to letting Mr. Sayre say something?
We'd love to hear from them.
Okay. Mr. Sayre.
Frank.
Aloha kako. Thank you for letting us in. We are over in Kona on the Big Island, and Vice Chair Sugimura gave a brief background of our foundation, and so far we have been able to donate one Ford F-350 flatbed truck. Councilman Cook was there, as well as I believe Alice was there as well. Anyway, we have these other two big dog trucks that have just come in. These are off-road tanker trucks that hold about 1,250 gallons of water, and they can go overland and get to the fires before they become big and out of control. I believe we have 4 more smaller fire trucks coming in. We have a foundation over here on the Big Island that's been in existence since 1997, when our son was killed in a fall up at the north end of the island. Since that time, we've been fortunate enough to receive donations from, mostly from our county, to the tune of about $41 million. And when the Lahaina fire happened, we were contacted by good friends in Kihei, Kelly and JJ Fleer, and they asked about setting up a foundation on Maui similar to what we have. Instead of trying to do that and go through the IRS requirements to get a 501c3 separate setup, we have instituted a Maui fund within our foundation, where donations can come in that are expressly set aside for the support of the Maui Fire Department. And we have been able, through donations from Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, and I'm going to turn this over to my wife, Laura, whose spelling is now accurate. Thank you. And have her explain a little bit more. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. This is Laura Mallory Sayre. I'm the executive director and the co-founder of the Daniel R. Sayre Memorial Foundation. And we are just so honored to have this resolution in front of you today. This is a dream come true for a number of you on the county council, Alice and Yuki, and our fire chief and Tom. And just, you know, when we found out about the Lahaina fire, it broke our hearts. You know, we just knew we had to do something. And then we talked to Kelly and JJ about this and came over and asked if you would like to have our help. And you said yes, and here we are. And these 2 trucks that have come in are game changers. They're all terrain trucks. They can drive to a fire, even up Haleakala. And we can get to the fires. I say we, like I'm the fire department. But after 28 years, I sort of feel like I'm the mom of the fire department. And so we can actually drive to the fires before they get out of control and put them out. And so these are going to be unbelievable in terms of getting our fires suppressed before they become an issue. And hopefully there will never be another Lahaina fire or anything like that with these trucks. We have 4 more coming in through the help of the Hawaii Community Foundation and a grant that Chief Ventura and I wrote, and support from Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, as I mentioned. These two trucks that have come in for resolution today are strictly from Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez personally, not even through their foundation. They personally supported this project. So we are very proud of our opportunity to work with them and to help our sister island. You know, we're all connected. We're all Ohana. And we are very, very honored to be able to work with you. We're looking at April 9th in the afternoon when your meetings are finished to do the blessing if we can, possibly at 3 o'clock when you're able to get over to the facility for the blessing ceremony. I've talked to Chief Ventura and he's helping to set that up if that works. And I would want to have all of you there if we could, to thank you personally for supporting this resolution and for working with our foundation to make this prayer happen. So we are actually looking at members from the How and How trucking company, and also from the Peterbilt company, who helped put these trucks together in record time and did it as a favor to us, to push us at the head of the line for you. They're looking at coming over as well. So we thank you for supporting this resolution and yeah, just for being amazing. We're sitting here listening to your county council meetings just like ours, and you know we're all family. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your, thank you. Go ahead.
Another quick shameless plug. Tell all your friends and family that if they want to support the MFD, that all their donations coming in will go into that fund and will never be commingled with any of the Big Island projects. So yeah, this is for you guys.
100% goes to the cause. We don't take anything. Yeah.
You are amazing. Thank you so much. Members, any more comments? Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you very much, Frank and Laura. Amazing what you have done. I was, Shirley and I were in that meeting when we first met you with Fire Chief and his staff talking about establishing this relationship. And I just want to mention to everyone that after that meeting, Chief said that when this was happening, he said it was a dream come true because everybody in the whole state was recognizing what the Sayers were doing for the Big Island. And for Maui to now have you shedding your joy and love to our Maui Fire Department is greatly appreciated. And I call them my angels. You know, that's what happens when you have a disaster like that. You have angels that appear and make miracles happen. So thank you very, very much. I look forward to seeing you, and thank you very much for all that you're doing for us. I know Brad wishes that, he was here, but he's at the Oluwalu Fire Station blessing or groundbreaking that's happening simultaneously. So thank you.
Okay. Members, any other questions or comments? Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. I'm really touched and excited. I don't think when people see these trucks, they will have a grasp. But for me personally, South Maui, similar to West Maui, but South Maui has thousands of acres of pasture land that has suffered through drought over several years, Malka of Kihei Town. These trucks are the type of trucks that can literally, and this isn't in the specs, this is my belief, they could literally drive over a cattle fence and keep going. They are all-terrain vehicles with a significant amount of water, very sophisticated, very designed for endurance. And I just, you hit it out of the park with this. I'm all choked up. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, again, thank you, Frank and Laura. Appreciate it. We're going to vote now. Members, are you ready?
Chair, this is on the amendment.
Yeah. On the amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Tamara?
Halton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, there's something covering your face. That's why. Okay, I got rid of it. Member Paulton.
This was just the vote on the name change, but if we're all doing our discussion at this moment, so that we don't discuss later, I just wanted to express my gratitude. Member Rollins Fernandez can't speak, and she also wanted to express her gratitude to also, I wanted to express my condolences for the loss of your son and say what a legacy that he's leaving. Our island will be connected with him also through these generous acts, and his memory will live on here too through the lives that will be saved by the equipment that you guys are donating to us. So thank you so much. And I'm glad we could get your name right.
Very good. Anybody else? Okay, if not, members, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. I don't see Member Rollins Fernandez though, so 7 ayes, 2 excused, motion carries. And now the main motion as amended. All those in favor say aye. Raise your hand. I see seven ayes, 0 noes, 2 excused, motion carries. Again, thank you very much, Laura and Frank. Sending you all our love from Maui. Okay. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, moving on to ordinances. There is currently no one signed up to testify, so this will be last call, and I see Mr. Law making his way down.
Ordinances. Stand in support of Bill 48 with proposed amendments.
Chair, there's no one else currently signed up to testify, so again, this is last call. The countdown is 3, 2, 1. Chair, there's no one indicating a desire to testify.
Members, any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony on ordinances? So ordered, Ms. Clerk.
No objections.
Chair, before you is Bill 48, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending Titles 2, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 Maui County Code on fee waivers for affordable housing.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move to pass Bill 48, 2026 on first reading.
Second.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Sinensi to pass Bill 48 on first reading. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. We briefly went over this bill in Member U'uhajan's HLU committee, and it was kind of worked on a little bit with Director Mitchell, and it was modeled after what Kauai does, but modified to meet Maui's needs. When HSAC met on Kauai, we had the opportunity to visit a number of their affordable housing projects and transitional projects, and their housing director, Mr. Roversi, was explaining to us how it happened. And so I did ask him for their form, and this bill is modeled after their form. Its purpose is to allow for full or partial waivers of fees for the residential workforce housing units, even if the project itself is not 100% affordable. At this time, I would also move to amend Bill 48 with my amendment summary form that should have been distributed at today's meeting. I did email the unsigned version to Director Mitchell. He had to go to a meeting at 11, but he did approve of it. What the amendment summary form does is insert a subsection B under section 2.97.150 that authorizes the Director of Housing to determine qualifications for the waiver of all or a portion of fees for residential workforce housing units if it meets one of the following requirements. The project receives a budget appropriation, a grant or loan agreement for the distribution of funds is executed to implement the project developer has a fully executed residential workforce housing agreement, makes technical amendments for consistency and clarity. It also amends the qualifications for a residential workforce housing unit to receive a waiver of all or a portion of fees as follows. It includes plain language because, we don't always know the AMI of what, low to moderate is. So the fee is waived completely for a household that is 100% AMI below, and half of the fee for a household that is more than 100% AMI, but up to 120% AMI. If I can get a second on the amendment, I'll go into discussion.
Okay, moved by Member Paulton and seconded by Member Sinensi to approve the ASF she just submitted and explained. Member Paulton, under discussion.
Thank you. This amendment would give the Director of Housing discretion to determine the waiver of fees for residential workforce housing units based on certain criteria. If the criteria is met, then he must apply the waiver. In the FD1 version, households that are 120 AMI or below would receive a full or partial waiver of fees. Households that are over 120% AMI but up to 140% AMI would not, because that's more of our gap group. This amendment would model housing fee waiver provisions in other municipalities similar to both Kauai County and City of Austin, Texas. I did check in with Director Mitchell and he has reviewed the ASF. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion today.
Any more discussion? Member Batanga.
Thank you, Chair. So, Member Paulton, I remember discussing aspects of this bill when it came up in Member Uhajan's committee and was comfortable when I initially saw this. But since there's an ASF on the floor now, can I ask, is there any time sensitivity for us doing this at first reading rather than in committee?
The only time sensitivity is that there won't be committee for a couple months. And I guess, the only real project that I know of that this could potentially affect is the Lipoa apartments or the Lipoa project that we had approved in last budget, I believe. I'm not sure the timeline of things if they're that far ahead in it, but I wouldn't necessarily want to hold it back 2 months. But if you're not comfortable taking action at this council meeting, if we're taking action on council meetings, instead of sending it to committee, we can potentially, I guess, lay it on the table if you wanted to do some due diligence, or, there is still second reading. So I'm not trying to force it through. I'm just trying to offer the carrots that Member Cook asked for when we were doing the sticks, and trying to be a balanced person. We did take the sticks to committee. I didn't know if you wanted the carrots to committee as well.
Thank you, Member Paulton. I guess I just have a question for Corporation Counsel. Since the original bill was signed to form in legality, are there any legal concerns regarding the ASF version?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I don't have an issue necessarily, but I do want to say that normally the residential workforce housing agreements are signed after the ordinance, after the fee waivers have been settled. So I'm a little bit unclear how a residential workforce housing agreement could be one of the triggers to then waive. So I'd like a chance to look at this. And just for your information, we have completed the residential workforce housing agreement for Lipoa recently. We did go through that process. So I would just like a chance to look at this and be able to make comments. Thank you.
Member Batanga.
Thank you, Chair. I guess my preference would be to send it to committee rather than take action today, but I'm also open to holding it on the clerk's desk. I did see Member Paulton had her hand up, and I'm open to other things as well.
Member Paulton.
One other consideration that came up is that if Bill 40 is enacted, it would affect rates and fees for fiscal year 27. So Appendix B would need amendments to incorporate the new provisions. So if we were to wait until after budget, that is another thing to take into consideration.
So are you suggesting that we wait, or we lay it on the clerk's table, or what do you suggest?
Personally, I'm not, but I do hear that member Batanganis. I'm willing to hear from other members their sense of urgency. I know it's not just me and him, and I'll go with the majority, I guess.
Okay. I see Member Cook's hand up. I see Member Rollins Fernandez is home.
Oh, yeah.
Are you home? I hope so. Okay.
Hello. Yeah, we made it.
All right. Okay. You made it. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, fellow members. I'm an advocate of doing this today, and the reason is for the budget time coming, and the way committees are going to be interrupted. For us to be able to take this up before the second reading for any detailing, but for incorporating this legislation into our rates and fees and sort of having a rule of the roads because what we're doing is encouraging these type of projects and clarifying and hopefully minimizing the long discussions about what does and doesn't qualify for a waiver. And during budget, we will also be able to address how we're going to be paying for these fees that are required by the other departments. So I'm an advocate of doing it today. I don't see a problem with it, but I will.
Okay, and then let me ask Corp Counsel member, Attorney, Deputy Corp Counsel, First Deputy.
Yeah, so we can look at it between now and second reading. That's fine, no problem.
Okay, everybody satisfied with that? So we're moving this forward. Any further discussion before we take a vote on it? This is for first reading. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
I see 8 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused, motion carries. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, that was on the motion to amend. Now we're on the motion as amended.
Okay. Main motion as amended. Any more discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries, 1 excused, member Ugo Hodgins. Okay, where are we now? Because I really need to take a short break.
We're on Bill 49, Chair.
Okay. Members, any objections to taking a 10-minute break? Recess.
No objections.
Okay, so that'll be 6 and 5, so 11:06. Okay? Okay, 11:06, that should be enough time. Meeting in recess. Will the council meeting of March 20th, 2026 please reconvene? Ms. Clerk.
Chair, we're on Bill 49, which is for referral to the Water and Infrastructure Committee. Bill 49, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending Section 10.48.040 Maui County Code on parking prohibitions for certain streets and highways.
Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. Members, this is a bit of a milestone for me, as Bill 49 is the first piece of legislation that I'm introducing as a member of this body. It also holds special meaning because it addresses an issue that was started by my predecessor, Councilmember Kama, and so I'm really happy to be able to carry this work forward. And so it is with great enthusiasm that I ask that this bill be referred to committee, and I ask that you support me in this.
Okay, very good. Can you tell us a little bit about what this is about?
Sure. So this prohibits parking on certain streets in Kahului where there have been a lot of issues of loitering and vandalism. So businesses are asking for them to be closed off and that we be able to help enforce parking prohibitions for safety concerns and residential concerns.
Okay, great. Any objections, members, to referring this matter to the Y Committee? So ordered. Bill 50.
Yep, Chair, before you is Bill 50, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Department of Human Concerns Program, grants and disbursements for health, human services, and education. Delete the conditional language for Maui Rescue Mission, Inc. for $200,000, reduce houseless programs by the same amount, increase appropriation for Maui adult daycare centers by $50,000, and add conditional language for the Halihulumamo Senior Center, HANA, for $50,000. Add new appropriations for Ohana Makamai, Inc. for $50,000 and Project Vision Hawaii for $50,000, and grants and disbursements for youth centers and programs. Increase appropriation for Hana Youth Center, Inc. by $50,000.
Member Sinensi.
Thank you, Chair. I move to pass Bill 50, 2026 on first reading.
Moved by Member Sinensi, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to pass Bill 50, 2026 on first reading. Discussion, Member Sinensi.
Mahalo, members. Bill 50 amends the fiscal year 26 budget as follows. Under the Department of Human Concerns Program, grants and disbursements for health, human services, and education, deleting the conditional language Maui Rescue Mission and reduce houseless programs by $200,000. Also increase Maui Adult Care Center's appropriation by $50,000 and adding conditional language for Halihulumamo Senior Center, Hana, for $50,000 for their kupuna programs. Add new appropriations for Ohana Makamai and Project Vision Hawaii for $50,000 each to assist with their food drives and forced early student screenings. And increase Hana Youth Center, Inc. under grants and disbursements for youth centers and programs by $50,000 for their keiki programs. As Budget Director Milner stated, Maui Rescue Mission is unable to use the allotted funding. And I did want to mahalo the administration for this budget amendment, as these funds will greatly help East Maui nonprofits who serve keiki to kupuna and who've seen drastic cuts on the federal side. And I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
So I see 8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. One excused, Member U'u Hodgins. Ms. Clerk, you're welcome.
Chair, before you is Bill 51, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor Economic Development Program, grants and disbursements for business development and technology, decrease technology and business promotion by $180,000, Department of Human Concerns Program, grants and disbursements for youth centers and programs, increase Boys and Girls Clubs of Maui, Inc., located on Molokai by $180,000. And Chair, I believe that Member Rollins Fernandez is handling this motion.
Okay, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. And before I make the motion, I am safe at my private residence, and I have 2 minor children here on spring break, and they are also safe. Yes, so that's all that's all the humans that are here. I have tortoises outside. Okay, so for the motion, I move to adopt Bill 51, 2026 on first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Member Rollins Fernandez, seconded by Member Senensi, to pass Bill 51, 2026 on first reading. Discussion, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. As you heard from Budget Director Milner this morning in testimony, the purpose of the proposed bill is to amend the FY26 budget, Office of the Mayor, Economic Development Program, grants and disbursements for business development and technology and business promotion to decrease Category B, operations and equipment, in the amount of $180,000 and adjust the total appropriation accordingly, and to amend Department of Human Concerns Program, grants and disbursements for youth centers and programs, Boys and Girls Club of Maui, Inc., located on Molokai, to increase Category B, operations and equipment in the amount of $180,000 and to adjust the total appropriation accordingly. Members, I ask for consideration on the floor today. This is a budget amendment and not a county code amendment. As we all know, we're going into budget session, and we won't be having committee meetings. And so I would like for us to take it up now for the council members that have been supporting the Boys and Girls Club opening a clubhouse on Molokai. Thank you so much. Everyone's been so patient, and the Boys and Girls Club have been so persistent, and I'm so grateful that they haven't given up on us. The Molokai Youth Center, regaining control over the Molokai Youth Center was quite a challenge, and I'm sure First Deputy Corp Counsel Desjardins can attest to that, and I appreciate her help with this as well. And we all know that when lessors have the lease for county facilities or land, that there's a provision and an expectation that that facility will be returned to the county in the condition that it was received or better. And in this case, it was not. And the Boys and Girls Club, in meeting with them 2 weeks ago, explained to me how they were going to make this magic happen for us, and how there may be less programming, but hopefully not. And they were going to try to have the support from other clubhouses to help our clubhouse. And I didn't think that it was a responsibility of other clubhouses to make up the difference. So I feel like it's the county's responsibility to try to help, with the repairs of the county facility, that's the Molokai Youth Center. So I mahalo TJ for testifying on short notice this morning. They did not make the request. I made the request. And I thank Budget Director Milner for getting that paperwork through way quicker than I expected, and Mayor Bisson for approving the funds, and the Department of Human Concerns for continuing to manage the grants for this and supporting the Boys and Girls Club. This is something that our community has been asking and waiting for, and so just I appreciate the members' continued support of this. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. By the way, how far are you from the airport? 10 minutes? 5? We were wondering, how much time to give you.
Thank you so much.
5 minutes?
Yeah. I'm about 12-ish minutes, depending on the weather and the traffic. It could be more or less. And so, I was able to get here as quickly as possible and change out of my outfit and look a little more professional for our council meeting.
Okay, we were all concerned about you and that flight. Glad you made it home.
Yes. Those pilots deserve a raise. They were incredible. We could not see the runway. Like, we passed Molokai, went toward Oahu, took a different approach coming in from the south part of the island. We still couldn't see the runway, and like dropped down lower than the cloud coverage. But fighter pilot style, doing like a donut coming around, and we landed like beautifully. I was so impressed.
Very good. Wow. Vice Chair Sugimura.
I too support this. At this time, thank you. I would like to also mention that Kelly Maluo Pearson is retiring.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's retiring after, I think, 20-something years. Done a great job with Boys and Girls Club, and they're looking for a successor. I remember this project years ago, coming through a couple of years ago, and I'm glad that it's happening. And I did hear recently that the families of Molokai were anxiously waiting for this to happen. So it'll be in good hands with Boys and Girls Club. And thank you for providing this funding, to get the facility where it should be, so it's safe, right? That's the objective. Thanks. Thank you. I support. Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, Member Cook.
Thank you. I'm really stoked and supportive of this. I'm happy for the Molokai community. Commend you for being persistent, working on it. I feel that the Boys and Girls Club ties up there with one of the top nonprofits in our community. They generate a tremendous amount of money on their own, so they really meet the criteria of the money that the county complements their services with. They're not totally dependent on us. They're independent. The services they provide for our youth is unbelievable. So I'm stoked and happy and grateful, and I hope that we will continue to be very supportive of them in the future. Congratulations. And I want to say that I was really impressed. I didn't know that we had our councilwoman, Molokai weather woman. You looked awesome out in the wind. I was just waiting for the camera and you give us a weather report.
Yeah. Our feisty council member from Molokai. Yes. Well, okay, any more discussion? If none, all those in favor of the motion?
Chair, Member Paulton is.
Oh, Member Paulton.
I would like to enthusiastically also support this. The Boys and Girls Club, having Molokai have a Boys and Girls Club connects it to so many resources and programs. I wish my kids would attend the Boys and Girls Club more. They used to during COVID and for many years, but they have maybe we can see kids from Molokai. I mean, I haven't gone to the Big Chef, Little Chef because of other commitments, but maybe we'll see a contingent from Molokai next year. The Youth of the Year and all the programming that they have. Like when I never had been allowed into the clubhouse in West Maui as a parent, but I met with Kelly Pearson and the staff there in advance of budget season, so I got to go inside, and they have like a full-on commercial kitchen. They have there was a sewing machine in the after-school homework room, and it'll just open so many doors to the youth of Molokai, especially also being part of a network of systems. Like, TJ is awesome too. Like, he was willing to try and pull it together. I'm glad that we didn't have to pull from other clubs, but I'm stoked that they were willing to try to make it happen by any means necessary. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Sugimura.
And one last thing. Newly appointed board director is Carrie Kapoy.
Oh.
Yeah, she's in charge of president, right, of the board. So here we go, have more to add with her. She was the one who created, I hear, the Big Chef, Little Chef. So she created that, I think, 10 years ago. And we just went to that celebration. And Member Paulton, you must go one year. And hopefully, Member Rollins Fernandez, we will have, Little Chefs from Molokai. That would be so awesome. in the future. Just wanted to congratulate Carrie Kapoy, who's so busy and she's taken on this challenge.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to it, Member Sugimura.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye. Okay, 8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries, 1 excuse, Member Hodgins. Okay, that takes care of
Mahalo, members.
51. Ms. Clerk?
Chair, before you is Bill 52, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor, Economic Development Program grants and disbursements for business development and technology, Kahului Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Programs, updating the conditional language for Friends of Maui Waina Intermediate School, for the Falcon Entertainment and Engineering Program to Maui AIDS Foundation and Wailuku Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Programs, updating the conditional language for the cleanup and monthly maintenance of the Old Wailuku Cemetery to Maui AIDS Foundation.
Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. It pains me to do this, but it's time sensitive for the same reasons that Bill 50 and 51 are. So I move to pass Bill 52, 2026 on first reading.
Moved by Member Batangan, second by Vice Chair Sugimura, to pass Bill 52, 2026 on first reading. Discussion, Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. Bill 52 amends the FY26 budget, Kahului Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Programs to update the conditional language for Friends of Maui Waina Intermediate School for the Falcon Entertainment and Engineering Program to Maui AIDS Foundation, and Wailuku Economic Development, Environmental and Cultural Program to update the conditional language for the cleanup and the monthly maintenance of the Old Wailuku Cemetery to Maui AIDS Foundation. These funds will be used for events during Pride Month, including the Maui Pride Festival on Market Street. I respectfully ask for the members' support of my motion. Thank you, Chair.
All right, further discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I'm totally in support of this. I love the Maui AIDS Foundation and the Falcons as well. And I guess my only comment is, no scared, make it a habit, you know? I won't hold it against you.
Okay, and then just for everybody's information, the bottom half, the part relating to Maui AIDS and Wailuku Cemetery was my request, and thank you, administration, particularly Leslie Milner, for this last-minute change that was requested by the Maui AIDS Foundation. What's going to happen is the Old Wailuku Cemetery earmark of $7,500, we're going to give it back to them in the next upcoming budget. They weren't able to find a group to take care of the actual work, but now Teens on Call will be doing it in the next budget. So this budget, we took whatever was available, $7,500, to give to the Maui AIDS Foundation for their upcoming project. So that was the purpose of that one. Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. 1 excused, Member Hodgins. Okay, next ordinances, second and final.
Chair, would you like to go back to those 2 committee reports?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So returning to, from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is Committee Report 26-20, recommending first reading of Bill 142, CD1, to adjust the home exemption filing deadline so claimants who file by December 31st or June 30th receive the exemption on their next tax payment.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 26-20.
Okay, moved by Member Rollins Fernandez, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 26-20. Discussion, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. This was Member Paulton's bill, so I'll invite her to share any mana'o she would like to, but the Raptor Committee worked hard, and Member Paulton even harder with the administration, with the Finance Department to figure out how to make this happen. So mahalo, Member Paulton, for your hard work on this, and Chair, I'll invite her to share any comments.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I did go over the bill upon hearing the testimony earlier. I didn't see anything in penalty, so it may be another section that would need to be amended to address her issue. And I am aware of the deficiency in just making it a shorter time period instead of immediate application. I figured until we can, or not us, but finance or somebody can devise a system to make changes in real time or less time, might as well take some of the time off until that happens so we get closer. You know, baby steps are still steps as long as you're going in the right direction. So that's about it.
Thank you. Yes, and Finance said that they are going to be obtaining new software to deal with these kinds of issues. So hopefully that they can get the people to work so they can implement these new tools. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye. 8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. 1 excused member, Hodgins. Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also from the Special Committee on Real Property Tax Reform is Committee Report 26-21, recommending referral of Bill 37-2026, which would create a real property tax exemption for developers of qualified residential workforce housing developments to the Housing and Land Use Committee.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I move to adopt the recommendations in CR 26-21.
Moved by Member Rollins Fernandez, seconded by Member Sinensi, to approve the recommendations in Committee Report 26-21. Discussion. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. So the Raptor Committee worked really hard and got a lot of bills through. This one wasn't one of them, unfortunately, but we did get some requests to start the Raptor Committee again, maybe at a later time. So mahalo, Chair Lee, for that great idea that helped us really hone in on some of these real property tax policies that allowed us to focus and get a lot of work done. That was really excellent. So this will be going to the BFED committee, and then maybe we can take it up again in the special committee at a later time with other policy ideas. I know that the committee members shared that they were still working on. So mahalo again, Chelly.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for all your help. A lot of good ideas and legislation came out of the special committee. So this matter is going to be referred, okay? All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. 1 excused. Member Hodgins. Okay, back to the regular agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So back to the ordinances up for second and final reading. Before you is Bill 116, CD1, FD1, 2024, a bill for an ordinance amending chapters 3.36 Maui County Code to exempt certain below market leases for affordable housing or residential workforce housing programs, and chapter 3.40 Maui County Code on bidding requirements, and to require additional financial reporting for leased property.
Vice Chair Sugimura.
Thank you. If there are no objections, may I please request the clerk to also call up Bill 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, and 46.
Any objections, members? Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bill 39, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Housing, Home American Rescue Plan, Home ARPA Program, new appropriation of $139,416. Bill 40, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Police, Positively Kai Foundation, Peer Support Group, a new appropriation of $35,000. Bill 41, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Department of Management, Office of Recovery, decrease Category B operations and equipment by $497,500. Emergency Management Agency, Emergency Management Program, increase appropriation for Category A salaries by $100,000, and increase the appropriation for Category B operations and equipment by $397,500. Bill 42, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix C, Department of Parks and Recreation, Wailuku Kahului Community Plan Area, update the appropriation for War Memorial Gym building improvements by $800,000. Bill 44, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Human Concerns, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, new appropriation of $185,496. Bill 45, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, decreasing carryover savings, general fund by $550,000, Department of Parks and Recreation, Parks Program, increase appropriation for Category B, Operations and Equipment, by $550,000. And Bill 46, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Appendix A, Part 1, Department of Housing, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG Program, new appropriations for County of Maui Project Senior Housing Acquisition in the amount of $1,505,092, and Calpo Community Association Project Calpo Digital Hub Initiative in the amount of $63,782.
Vice Chair Sugimura, discussion.
Thank you. I move to pass Bills 116, CD1, FD1, 2024, Bill 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, 46, 2026 on second and final reading. No discussion.
No discussion. Who is the seconder? Okay, seconded by Member Batangan. No discussion. Anybody else for discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Say aye. 8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. One excused, Member Hodgins. So, okay, we have about 4 left. Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before you is Bill 14, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending subsection 2.96.090D Maui County Code on the selection priority for residential workforce housing ownership units.
Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. I move to pass Bill 14, 2026 on second and final reading.
Moved by Member Batangan, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to pass Bill 14, 2026 on second and final reading. Discussion, Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. Bill 14 amends subsection 2.96.090D to clarify the residential workforce housing unit selection priority. Units must be offered for sale to the county once the wait list is exhausted of all residents. The bill also reinstates requirements for documents verifying the sale of units to eligible buyers and to accept the county from those requirements. I respectfully ask for the members' support on my motion. Thank you, Chair.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. One excused, Member Hodgins. Next, Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Bill 27, CD1, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 19.35 Maui County Code on the size of accessory dwellings.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I move to pass Bill 27, CD1 on second and final reading.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Senensi to pass Bill 27, CD1, 2026 on second and final reading. Discussion, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. With the housing crisis, this is, I guess, another carrot. The stick will be coming next on the parking so that it keeps it safe. And plenty of people have asked for this and supported it. I don't know where they are today, probably shoring up their houses.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion carries. One excused, Member Hodgins. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, before you is Bill 38, FD1, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 280B Maui County Code on the general plan and community plans.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I move to pass Bill 38, FD1 on second and final reading.
Moved by Member Paulton, seconded by Member Senensi to pass Bill 38, FD1, 2026 on second and final reading. Pardon me?
Thank you. I just want to do what I can to support the new planning director as well as the community plan process to update it in terms of technological advances and to make it more easier and manageable. As we heard in, I believe, member Hodgins' committee on the operational update, that it's very detailed criteria, and just keeping it with the times will assist them in their community plan work going forward.
Okay. Any
These
more?
are just the low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Sorry.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
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 8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. Member Hodgins excused. Ms. Clerk, last one.
Chair, before you is Bill 43, 2026, a bill for an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, Office of the Mayor Economic Development Program, grants and disbursements for business development and technology, South Maui Economic Development, environmental and cultural programs, new conditional language for Wilbert Wa Itu Hu Tom Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 3850 in the amount of $25,000.
Member Cook.
Chair, I move to pass Bill 43, 2026 on second and final reading.
Moved by Member Cook, seconded by Vice Chair Sugimura to pass Bill 43 on second and final reading. Discussion, Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I move to replace all references in Bill 43, 2026 to the Wilbert Wa Itu Hu Tom Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 3850 with the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States Wilbert Wa Hu Tom Post 3850 as reflected in the proposed FD1 version of the bill attached to the amendment summary form currently being distributed. I also move to suspend Rule 19 of the Rules of the Council to allow final action on the same meeting as an amendment.
Second. Moved by Member Cook, seconded by Member Batangan. On the motion as stated in the ASF that was passed out. Discussion, Member Cook.
I encourage the members at some point to go by and visit when it's after all of the mud flood is cleaned up. The facility and on the ocean in Kihei is like over 40-something years old, has a lot of history. It's very interesting. It's also complicated because part of the property is Department of DLNR, and then part of it is county parks. And so the use and functionality has been problematic for them. It has a long history. This is helping them out, and I'm hoping that we collectively can work in the future to solidify this place's presence so that the veterans of many years to come forward can enjoy this very unique oceanfront property in South Maui. Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. One excuse, Member Hodgins. And the main motion as amended. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion carries. One excuse, Member Hodgins. Ms. Clerk, do we have anything else?
Sure, there's no further business before the council.
All right, Member Batangan.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to address the members, because I know I made light of it earlier about referring things to committee and, passing things on the floor. So I guess I would say that it's 7 for 7 now. And it's not just a philosophic objection that I have to doing committee work on the floor, but we have also done amendments. And if I find it difficult to have to look at an amendment summary form in the moment and try to figure out what it means and like how it would impact our code and our community, I imagine it would be difficult for the community members to be able to track this as well. And so, I just wanted to speak up in support of participation and transparency on these matters because of the way that I had communicated my feelings on this earlier. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. You make a good point, but sometimes our schedules are such that it's very difficult to recommit, on a regular basis, but we should do it more often. That's true. Any more comments? If not, Please stay dry, safe, and have a wonderful weekend with your families and friends. This meeting is adjourned.